Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane Fortnite Peely Bone action figure. Now the regular Peely is a staple of the Fortnite game. He's this giant banana skin. Peely Bone here is the same as Peely, except he's sort of cut in half, and on the inside you can see his skeletal structure and intestines. Doesn't really make any sense, but it's still a pretty creepy and pretty cool Fortnite skin. I believe it was originally released around Halloween time. Now this very well may be McFarlane's last Fortnite figure. The previous one they released was Big Mouth, and I'm pretty sure on the back of that package they showed Frostbite, but he never actually came out and there seems to be no news on that guy. I'm not sure why McFarlane has slowed down so much on their Fortnite line. I thought it was really successful for them, and I really like the figures. Fingers crossed they keep going. So let's check out the packaging here. As you can see at the top, Fortnite, Epic Games, Peely Bone, little QR code, ages 12 plus. Here he's in the package. He's got a back bling, a pickaxe, display stand, and a grenade launcher. Top of the package, Fortnite, Peely Bone, McFarlane toys. One side got Peely Bone posed up. Other side says Fortnite and Peely Bone, same position. The bottom got a bunch of credits. There is a barcode in case that helps anybody. And in the back, here are a bunch of other McFarlane Fortnite figures. And I can't help but notice Frostbite is not pictured back there. I got my figure from Amazon.com, but I saw he's also in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a grenade launcher, a display stand, his back bling called Banana Bag, and then his pickaxe called Death Valley. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Peely Bone. He's a variation of the Peely skin. He was first released on Halloween in 2019. That's why he looks like this. He was sort of a creepy horror vibe for Halloween. When I first heard McFarlane was going to be doing a Peely Bone figure, I was really curious how they'd execute it. So let's take a look at him. One side looks like regular Peely, just a little bit browned. Other side, something completely different. Looks like something living inside the shell. I mean, his skeleton structure, it's not just a skull, it's above. Very interesting. Apparently he has a digestive system. You can see his intestines down there. Single jointed elbow and knee on this side. Double jointed elbow and knee on this side. Honestly, the skin is kind of cool, and the figure is pretty cool as well. Now let's take a look at its accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane Fortnite stand. It says Fortnite at the bottom, 2 pegs for the pegals on their feet, kind of hollow. Now let's look at his back bling. It's called the Banana Bag. Pretty much like a brown satchel. It's got a few bananas there, a water canister on the side, the peg that attaches the peg hole on his back. Here's his back bling next to the Jazwares version of the Banana Bag. I'd say the McFarlane one is considerably better detailed. Here's Peely Bone wearing his back bling. You can't really tell from the front, but spin him around. One cool thing about these back blings is that they're customizable and interchangeable between each of the McFarlane Fortnite figures. Just like in the game, you can pick pretty much any back bling to go with any skin. Here are several different McFarlane Fortnite figures wearing each other's back blings. And unfortunately, even though they do connect the same way, through the peg on the backpack into the peg hole on their back, the Jazwares Fortnite figures' back blings are not interchangeable with McFarlane. Take a McFarlane back bling and a Jazwares figure, sure it's going to fit, but the hole is way too big for the peg. And in turn, take a Jazwares back bling and a McFarlane figure, it simply will not fit, as the thickness of the peg is quite different. Now let's look at his pickaxe. This is called the Death Valley. Pretty much got the skull of a bull on the top of a pickaxe. This is a re-release. This one came in the first assortment of McFarlane figures with Skull Trooper. Good old Skull Trooper came with the same pickaxe. Now this is not something McFarlane traditionally does with their Fortnite figures. They've only re-released the pickaxe maybe 1 or 2 other times. Here's Peely Bone holding his pickaxe. Peely Bone's walking down the sidewalk here, hears a noise, decides to chop his way through and figure out what it is. So he chopped through the wall, exposed the chest making all that noise. And not only that, he gained some break along the way. And as he opened the chest, he got a med kit, some boogie bombs, and a scar. And then just like the back blings, the pickaxes are interchangeable between each of the McFarlane figures. And unlike the back blings, the pickaxes are interchangeable between both the Jazwares and McFarlane figures. Here's a couple of McFarlane figures holding some Jazwares pickaxes, and some Jazwares figures holding the McFarlane pickaxes. Now let's look at his grenade launcher. It's an explosive weapon for the game. It is currently vaulted. So let's take a look at it. It's got two different handles, one at the back, one at the front. A little chamber here with all the grenades. Sculpting details, not bad. Here it is, next to the Jazwares version of the grenade launcher. They are very similar. Then, next to the Jazwares 4-inch scale grenade launcher, here he is holding the grenade launcher, and he does not hold it well. The handles are kind of loose in his hands, and his bony arm sort of lacks the rotation to be able to hold it properly. It just looks awkward like this. And just like the back bling and pickaxe, the guns are interchangeable between the different McFarlane Fortnite figures. Here are several different McFarlane figures holding each other's guns. And the guns are also interchangeable with the Jazwares figures. Here's a couple of McFarlane's figures holding the Jazwares weapons, and a couple of Jazwares figures holding the McFarlane guns. Now let's check out some other vehicles and accessories you can use to enhance this figure. Here's Peely Bone next to the McFarlane Quad Crasher. Unfortunately, he cannot drive this thing, as the leg on his banana side simply does not go far enough forward. But he can right on the back of it, guns a-blazing. Here's Peely Bone pushing around another figure in a McFarlane Fortnite shopping cart. And here he is, getting pushed around in one. Now let's see how he fits with the McFarlane glider. Looks like it works pretty good. Scales up nicely. He's able to hold on. Here's Peely next to a treasure chest. This treasure chest is from the Jazwares line, and it's from these smaller 4-inch figures. You may wonder how it could possibly be from a 4-inch line if it's too large to even fit in with the 7-inch line. It wasn't supposed to go with the figures. It was simply an accessory set. You open it up, and it came with some building material and some guns. Since chests are such a huge part of the game, I was happy to have one that's at least remotely in scale with the figures. Now he's opening up a loot llama. The llama, that crazy pink face, is sort of a staple to the game. This is obviously not for McFarlane or Jazwares, as it's simply a stuffed animal, but I was happy to have a llama for my figures. Here's Peely Bone with a bunch of other Jazwares Fortnite accessories. These are scaled up pretty good with the McFarlane 7-inch figures. Here he is with a can of spray paint, getting ready to attack the wall behind him, just like in the game. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure, his accessories, and some other accessories you can use to enhance this guy, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the tip of his peel, standing at about 8.25 inches tall, which you can translate to about 21 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Absolutely no articulation whatsoever. The peel's made of a soft material, sort of bend it, but it won't stay like that. So this side here, shoulder goes out this far, goes up and down as well. Elbow, traditional, goes straight, 90-degree bend. His wrist, it's hinged. Now it can rotate just a little bit. Other side, traditional McFarlane style, ball joint, double jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, can rotate, hinged. Then his leg here on this side goes out that far, goes forward, single jointed knee. Then his ankle here goes forward and back, can rotate, and there's toe articulation. This side here, ball joint on his hip, cannot go forward very much. Double jointed knees, his ankle has a ball in it, goes forward and back, rotate, and toe articulation. Here's Peely Bone laying out a bushel of bananas. Now in the real world, a banana with half its peel cut off would look like this. Here's the unpeeled side of these two bananas. And here's their peel side. Like I said before, a half-peeled banana would normally look like this, but in the crazy world of Fortnite, this half-peeled banana has a skeletal structure, digestive system, and can shoot an AK-47. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Fortnite figures. Here's Peely Bone next to the standard version of Peely. I wouldn't mind if we had a variation of the standard Peely with a bunch of brown spots on him. As you progress through the game, he turns colors like that. Here he is next to the two most recently released McFarlane Fortnite figures. These are about the only Fortnite figures McFarlane has made in the past year or so. I'm not sure why it slowed down so much. I thought the line was selling very well. They used to release at least a couple figures every couple months. And here's the entire collection of McFarlane Fortnite figures. If Peely Bone is the end, it's a pretty cool end, but I'm really hoping McFarlane can push out some more of these guys. Here's Peely Bone next to the Jazwares 6-inch version of Peely. And Jazwares did make a few different versions of Peely. From left to right, we've got Agent Peely, Peely Bone, regular Peely, and then P1000, when he was turned into a smoothie and had a robot body. And here he is, next to a couple of Jazwares 4-inch scale Agent Peelys. Here's my entire collection of Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series 6-inch scale figures. As they pass the license on to Hasbro, it looks like they're still going to have a bunch of releases before the end of the year. And here are all the Fortnite figures that I bought multiples of. You may ask yourself, why so many? Well, I got all 4 different faces of the wild cards to use the Royal Flush Gang in my DC action figure world. I got 4 of each variation of the Skull Trooper they've released for Scarecrow Henchman in my Batman world. I got 4 Night Hares and Rabbit Raiders for my Hatter Henchman in my Batman world, and then 2 Crack Shots for Toyman Henchman in my DC action figure world. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, all from different various video game properties. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. And now, next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Here he is, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Overall, he's a pretty cool figure. He's definitely weird. Kind of appropriate to be getting him right before Halloween. This guy's accessories are really nothing special. His bat bling's new, but the gun and pickaxe are reuse. His articulation, it's a little bit lacking, especially in the skeleton part, but I'm also disappointed that his Peely leg doesn't go forward very far. Paint job and sculpt, pretty nice. I think they handled this weird skeleton version, the execution, pretty nicely. If I were to rate this guy, I'm probably going to give him an 8 out of 10. I was going to give him a 7.5 because articulation's a little bit rough and he has a little bit of trouble holding stuff with his right hand. But the fact that he's just so cool and weird pushed him back up to an 8. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.